So I wanted to do a video today showcasing the new user interface with DayZ and to give a little bit of my thoughts on it. So at first glance it seems a bit better. You've got all your video settings on one page rather than having to filter through all of them like before and having to go to a separate page. This way you can just do it all at once, which is nice. Sound, the game, controls. Now you can just scroll through with view infantry movement, infantry weapons, etc. And that's all not too bad, but where things get a little iffy, I found for myself, I'm not sure if other people are experiencing this, but when you go to select servers, for example, it doesn't highlight which server you're actually pressing. So here's the list, and the only way for me to know is to hit details, and then it will tell me which one I've clicked on. So if I click on this one right here, which it's also messed up because it tells you how many players there are in the time section. So here there should be players and it's got what the time is. Here it's got the time and it has the server. Granted, I know this is early access and stuff too, but they've been working on the new UI for quite a while, and you think they'd have some of this stuff figured out a little bit, or at least have the right options, information match up with what the tabs here say. But the issues more or less occur when you're in game. So they've completely revamped the inventory system. So this is the new inventory system. I mean, some of it's the same. You've still got your items and stuff on the right side, the ground or the world items are in the left. You've got your toolbar underneath, and then your character. Right off the bat, you can't move your character back and forth, spin them around to look at him or her. So that's a bit different. They have here now, which took me a bit, I kept trying to slide items from the ground into this little area, and it wasn't working, and I was really confused. This little inventory here is kind of like your person. So all these slots, I'm not sure if all these are actually usable. It seems like there's a bit too many. But these are all slots for things that you carry on your person, like your clothes, your hat, your bandanas, your shoes, your pants, your gun, and your tool and stuff that you put on your back, in addition to your backpack. So if you want to put something on your person, if I take this off, I take his hat off, I just put it on, drag it on the person like before, it doesn't work. I have to actually drag it over into this little slot. It doesn't really seem to matter where you slide it, it'll put it in the same spot, no matter what. Right now I have my gun in my hands, but this is another thing that's different. The gun is no longer down here. There's no hand section here. It's been moved over here to the right. So this is the Winchester that I currently have in my hand. I really hope no one sneaks up on me or anything. This would be quite awkward. But anyway, so I've currently got this in my hands. Normally you could do one of two things. You could kind of slide, you could drag the gun up here and that would take it out of your hand. You could hit the X right here to exit out of your hands. You can't do that anymore. The only way to do it is to either do that, so you can actually slide it from there, you can drag, or right click on it and hit remove from hands. Important thing to note, if you take something and drag it to this side, to the left side, it doesn't want to put it in your hands. You have to put it either in the middle or to the right sand. So if I put it right there, okay, that seems to work. But if you right click over here to the left side, it doesn't want to bring up anything. You have to actually right click on the object itself to remove from your hands. So that's a little bit different with the hands. It's kind of weird having it over here and not in the center here, but it's not really something that that I would criticize. I mean, it's different, so I don't particularly prefer it right now because I'm used to the other way, but I'm sure with time I could get used to that. It'd be fine as long as it works properly, which it seems to. You now have your attachments listed here, 0 of 4, which if that's correct, apparently the Winchester now has 4 attachments, which to me seems like it's higher than it should be. I thought the Winchester could only take the scope, but I could be wrong. Maybe they added some new stuff in, or maybe that's just a bug, or just, you know, for future stuff that they'll be adding. But what you can do is these are the slots that actually have the ammunition put into it. So I'm pretty sure actually I loaded this up last night, but I'm not seeing my ammo in here. So we're gonna try something. We're not gonna fire this because it's a full server. We're going to try to find our ammunition on our person. And to do that, you've got your containers right here listed. You can take that away if you want. And then each individual one you have to open up specifically. Yeah, we did load in 5 rounds last night. So this is where things get tricky. I know, looking online at some people's videos, they were really confused as to how to... Okay, so we're going to empty it. And I'm not really sure if that worked. Okay, so apparently, we did empty it. It's on the ground here. Oh, we're out of space. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't make the, I'm going to turn it up a little bit, but I don't think it makes the combine sound anymore. That's weird. It's not letting us combine rounds either. That's really inconvenient if that's a permanent thing. We're going to get rid of this epinephrine for now. Okay, so what you have to do is drag it over your gun. Or sorry, no, that's right. You have to actually drag. You have to open the slots, I think, and drag it in. Well, this is not very intuitive. Let's see, can we hit R? No. Oh, wait a sec. We're going to try dragging this into the hotbar. There we go. Okay, so that's at least one way to do it. I actually remember seeing that on a video. I'm not sure if that's the only way to do it. It seems to be the most efficient way right now, is to put your rounds into your toolbar so you can just load them that way. But something I don't like is that it doesn't tell you that the bullets are in here. You have to actually right click on it to hit empty in order to see if you have rounds in there. So that's, I don't know, I like the visual cue of seeing the little bullet icon in the gun like before. There seems to be no other way. Move from hands open. Yeah, that's for attachments. I don't think that's, maybe that's not for ammunition. So that's how you reload now. So that'll take some getting used to. Especially if you're not using the new UI and someone else's, you're kind of at a disadvantage because there's only seems to be one way to reload and that's it. But this is also a bit different too. You don't see everything. Like the whole inventory area here is just a bit smaller. As you can see, they've cramped a lot more into a small space here. Since they moved the hands here, this no longer, your items don't come up here. So you've got, I've got my jacket, my pants, and my backpack and stuff. So you have to actually scroll. I'm using the mouse wheel to scroll in there to look at stuff. So I particularly don't like this. Everything just seems smaller than what it was before. So, especially in a combat situation, or, once they actually have viable zombies. Which, by the way, I have not seen a single zombie in the experimental so far, and I thought they were supposed to add them back in. I could be wrong. Maybe I completely have my facts wrong. If so, correct me in the comments section down below. But I was pretty sure there's supposed to be zombies in this, and I haven't seen any. So I've been hearing from some friends that they're not really sure if the zombies are respawning or not. So if that's the case, if that's planned, then okay. But if that was not planned, I love this game. I can't wait for it to be polished and finished, but my goodness, the development stage has just been less than ideal. Anyway, but yeah, so to me it seems like they really cramped a lot into a little space, and I don't particularly like it as much. I like the old system better. Plus, granted, this might just be very foundational, and I understand it can change and stuff, but it looks, for lack of a better word, just cheap. I don't know, it just doesn't look as nice as the other system did. The other inventory system I thought actually was quite well done, looked, I don't know, there wasn't much to it really, but I don't know, it just kind of looked more polished, I guess, than this. This looks very, maybe not cheap, just this looks very rough. I mean, the little boxes and stuff, I don't know, it reminds me kind of the DayZ mod inventory, and I never played it, but in looking at the videos and stuff, it just seems very convoluted, not very intuitive, very confusing, and this to me strikes me as very similar. So I like that they're trying to make improvements and changes, but I'm not really a fan of this new user face. It's not crashing the game like before, which is nice. I've heard it's supposed to increase your frames quite a bit. I remember seeing a guy whose videos I watch. He was saying he was getting 40 FPS in Nova while streaming, I think. So he's never been able to get that before, I guess. But I haven't noticed a huge difference with me. Just firing it up last night. I haven't done extensive testing, but just going up to the apartment complexes in Dubkey. Dubkey for me is one of the worst areas of DayZ, and it was still giving me shitty FPS. So right now it's not worth it to use the new UI for me because I don't like the layout, I don't like the reload system, and it's not giving any boost in performance. So I might try using it a bit more, but for right now I'm not giving it a very favorable review. I would recommend staying away from this until some of the issues are fixed, because I think you'll find that it's not worth it to try to get used to it right now. I would stick with the old. So let me know what you guys think of the new user interface if you've tried it. If not, I'd encourage you to try it. If you haven't tried experimental, I'd recommend doing that, because 0.58 is pretty good, but they've got some really cool things in 0.59 you'll want to check out. I think I'll do a video here soon showcasing the new items and such that they brought in. So hope you guys like this video, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and if you want to see more videos. And I will see you guys in the next installment. Take care.